Hey guys, back again for some heroic Blackhand tips and analysis for Resto Druids. And this kill's about a month ago when we first killed him, and I am aware we have no Disc Priest. I'm using Tree of Life, Nature's Vigil, and Germination as my talents. And I use these because they fit my playstyle. I use Rejuve a lot, and it works out with Nature's Vigil. I'm a heavy Rejuve user. And our other druid was actually using Soul of the Forest and Dream of Cenarius, or at least bouncing back and forth between the two talents. My two trinkets are Candle and Iron Chew Toy for the throughput and the mana regen. Once again, we're going to start off with Living Seed crits on the tank, along with all of our 3 hots, get a good mushroom placement down, and then take our drink. So coming into this, we're just going to make sure we have some rolling hots on everyone, keeping up Life Bloom, and then the first Demolition. If this is your Demolition to Trank, you want to pop a Tree of Life here, or you can wait depending on if you don't need to have Tree of Life for this. So for the first hit, we do have a Revival, but after the first hit is mine. Generally you want a Fox here, but since we only have 1 Fox, we use it for the second Demolition. So coming out of that, you want to be getting your Life Bloom back up, keeping up everyone else, standing behind the wooden piles if you do have the Impale, and then being aware that a Smash will be coming out on your tank, and he'll take a pretty good chunk of damage. And I did use Nature's Vigil for that, so that's a bit of a setback since I won't have it here. But here, you saw our melee got hit by a bomb, so I have to pop Nature's Swiftness pretty early to try and get those players back up, since they are taking 50% more damage. And so here you're just trying to keep up everyone that you can, mainly the tank, making sure you don't drop your Harmony and Life Bloom stacks. And then another Smash coming up, keeping them topped off. Here you can Wild Growth before the transition phase. Not needed too much, but it can help. We had a Debo Aura as well. And generally you want to pop your you want an Ager to pop a Stampeding Roar coming down to that phase, which I did. Now coming into phase 2, we're going to be focusing on keeping up the raid, keeping up the tanks, moving out of the Impale. So we rotate the boss clockwise along with our siege tanks. So we want to be toward the right side of the raid when the siege tank comes out with impales, just so that you don't get impaled into when you're in front of the siege tank. Lastly, you want to make sure you're keeping up pre-hots on the Smash group, which is our group 1, and trying to keep them up once they get off the rafters. And so that's basically the majority of this fight. And for our third Mark of Death, we have a Soaker take it. And for this, it's this DK here. And so they're going to be taking increased like dot damage periodically for like the next minute. So you got to keep up both your hots on him. Maybe even throw an Iron Bark if he starts to get really low. And just being aware that the dot is on him still, and just helping out. And if you get Marked for Death, Displacer Beast is the key talent to have here. I was too close to the bomb there, just trying to make sure I was covering my mark. But better safe than sorry than getting hit by a mark. Here I'm popping Tree of Life to help out with the healing, making sure my mushroom's on point. And the main point of this Tree of Life and Tranquility is to use it while people are taking damage, hopefully getting a Smash hit on it, but it looks like they didn't receive it. But to have it into phase 3, which you'll see later. So, going to keep potting everybody. Trying to get back there. Keeping up the tank, Life Bloom, Mushroom. Mushroom does account for a lot of your healing, even though it does overheal a good amount, but not to be undervalued at all, especially when you have the mana to support it. And so looks like there's going to be one more phase trying to keep the hots up on the smash phase, and once again hotting up the people who are soaking. For this phase you also want to be using Nature's Vigil on cooldown just to help out with the healing and the damage, because there is so much raid damage that you can't really afford to try and find there's no perfect spot to do it in this phase. You just gotta throw it out there. So here we're coming into the transition soon. You want to have your Nature Swiftness ready just to top off everyone that you can, because we do use a revival, but if that's late or someone takes a spike of damage right before it, it still can kill some people if you aren't prepared. So coming into phase 3, you can throw down a channeled mana potion if you are low. I'm sitting around 60%. It's hard to see that, I know, but it's what we got to deal with. And for each phase, if you have enough mana, you want to put down a wild mushroom. So, and once again, pop Nature's Vigil off cooldown. So in this phase, we have bombs go right and impales go left. If you see someone with the bomb debuff, or when people get impaled, you want to make sure your hots are rolling on them, because they're going to be taking increased damage or dot damage. And so after each smash, you generally want to just be hotting up everyone you can and trying to just put out as much heals as possible without overhealing. Here I get hit by a bomb and an impale. Probably should have died, but this is why we have Displacer Beast. It's one of the best abilities for this boss fight. Definitely should be running it. And Wild Growth again, keeping up the tanks. And you got to be aware of if the impales are running. If the impales might be running to the wrong side depending on how the boss is facing. And so you as an individual have to be aware of that. Shattering Smash again, you got to make sure you're stacking up. And as we see, my Tree of Life's coming off cooldown. You want to use that right away, get a wild growth off, and that will just pump some heals. Trying to triad heal as much as possible. And I'm going to try and use Tranquility as our team gets smashed. So I'm throwing it out now. A lot of people taking damage here. Right as Smash comes, a lot of people get flown. They get a tick of that. Helps out. And Wild Growth. And the boss dies. So generally, for that phase, you just want to make sure you're healing as much as possible. Getting out the impales. Knowing what to do. That phase comes down to guild execution, more or less. And if you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to see, just post it in the comments and I'll try to get back to you. And see you next time.